How you doing, Gio? I'm doing great. Thank you for having me once again. It's a pleasure to be here with you, talk about some soccer, and hopefully we get a lot going on, a lot of news from MLS, and hopefully we get to you as soon as possible. Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
there we go. Can you hear me?
Yes.
There we go. So let me just start that all over again because I actually had myself on mute. So we're here with Gustavo. We're talking a lot of big news. Obviously, big news here this Monday. Carlos Vela will not be going to the MLS's back tournament with LAFC and also FC Dallas tournament. Well, with that news, how you doing, Gustavo?
I'm doing great, Gio. Happy to be here once again talking soccer. Yeah, a lot of big news like Carlos Vela not going, as well as Jonathan Dos Santos, who's going to miss the tournament due to a surgery he's going to be having. He's going to be out for 6 weeks. So another two big names out of the tournament. And as you mentioned, FC Dallas pretty much pulling out of the tournament due to the COVID, the players and staff infected. So it's tough news for the MLS, but I'm still surprised they're gonna keep going with this tournament after all these setbacks.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, arguably the biggest star in MLS pulls out just a couple of days before it started. Obviously, I think we kind of had like a feeling about this and, what this would mean for this club. And I just want to read out Carlos Vela's statement that he sent out, the team sent out. He says, in quote, I would like nothing more than to be with my teammates in Orlando. I always want to give everything to my club, our fans, and supporters in the city of LA. However, it is in my best interest and of the health of my family to stay home and be with my wife during what is a risky pregnancy. I will miss being with my teammates and coaches, but will be cheering and supporting LAFC from a distance. I can't wait to be back in the field playing for all of you and accomplishing great things with our club. Vamos LAFC. So that's Carlos Vela right there. What did you make of his decision and obviously that statement right there?
Yeah, I think it was obvious that he prefers to be safe at home with his family because, yeah, like he said, it's a risky pregnancy, especially during these times. And Vela doesn't really have a lot of family out here, so I think it's important for him to take care of his kid and as well as his pregnant wife. So it's understandable. It's tough times. He is not the only one. We saw what happened in the NWSL, like players like Megan Rapinoe, Alex Morgan, who just had a baby too, not playing in that tournament. So it's something that it was bound to happen, especially because of these tough times. But yeah, it was a great message from Vela saying that he'll be supporting from afar. But yeah, LAFC is gonna lose a lot of big time playmaking because of him.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, all the goals come from Carlos Vela, not majority. But I also put a tweet out a stat outside of the players that obviously in the offensive end that they're going to look forward to. It's going to be Diego Rossi, Dio, Bradley Wright Phillips, and Brian Rodriguez. Those are the attackers, right? Those are the forwards, the strikers, and the wing players all bunched in one. I think one of the benefits that they have to this is that I mentioned this today. Bob Bradley had a press conference, a Zoom press conference, and he said he fully supports Carlos Vela's decision to sit out and not play and not play with this player and not go to Orlando, which makes sense. And one thing that I asked Bob Bradley was, um, having him being able to use those five subs. How would he be able to integrate them? Adding more players and certain things. But he said that as of right now, that they didn't have that plan. They just want to see how it goes once this tournament starts because they've never had that option, which was which I understood. So I think with Vela being out, I mean, you're going to have. He also said, I should mention that Dio and Andy Nahar, the newest signing, are both not 100% to play 90 minutes. So we will see Dio come in whether he starts or not. He may not finish the game or he may sub in. So those two players will be either going to be subbed in or subbed out, depending whether they start or not. So that's going to be interesting on the formation. And another question that was asked to Bob Bradley is if they're going to change the formation. He typically runs a 4-4-3, and they said there was not going to be no change to the formation. So I expect Dio and obviously Bradley Wright Phillips to play striker, typically what Vela plays, and then you have Diego Rossi and Brian Rodriguez on the flanks.
Yeah, definitely. You miss a great player like Vela, but you do have a great caliber players like Phillips and Dio. But yeah, like you said, not 100%. Dio will be on this lineup. But I think it's something that we saw LAFC do last year when Carlos Vela missed a couple games due to injury. They answered without him on the field, although they do lose a lot of playmaking, a lot of goals in the offensive side. But I think LAFC is going to be fine. And I think Bradley does a great point, or gives a great point of not changing the lineup, something that has been working for him throughout the past two seasons. So yeah, the 4-3-3 is the go-to for the players. Why change a system when most of the players already know what the coach is asking for in this type of formation?
Yeah, and it's going to be a big opportunity for a lot of the players. I really do see. We know what Dio can do when he's 100%, right? He can score. And I just want to quickly pull the stats. So this is 2019. The top goal scorers, obviously, nobody named Carlos Vela. So you had Diego Rossi, who scored 17 goals last season. You had Dio, who scored 10. Bradley Wright Phillips, who was with New York Red Bulls, scored 2 goals. And Brian Rodriguez, he hasn't scored. He didn't score any goals last season. Now moving on to 2018, and these are the players that played in the MLS. So I didn't put Brian Rodriguez in this one. In 2018, Bradley Wright Phillips scored 20 goals with the New York Red Bulls. Diego Rossi scored 12 with LAFC, and Adama Diomande Dio also scored 12 goals. So you do have obviously the potential there for players to score and multiples. All right, I think it's just to see how they flow. If you don't have Dio, 100%, and Bradley Wright Phillips, to play a full 90 minutes, obviously those two players are going to come in for each other. But I'm more interested to see who's going to be more effective. And I also want to see. I think the biggest thing is Brian Rodriguez. He hasn't scored with the club. He scored in in a preseason, obviously which didn't count. But I think this is a big time for him to step up. He holds a DP spot, and this is a big time for him to step up. We know he has the speed. We know he can be flashy, but I really look for him to come out and give LAFC that boost, whether if it's in goals or assisting, whichever way. Because I think he really. I don't want to say he has some pressure, but if you haven't scored and you're a striker or winger, that eventually is going to get to you. And as of right now, I think he should be producing more than he has.
Yeah, definitely. As a winger, you have to produce. You're playing as almost as a forward, so it's important for him to find the confidence to score goals and step up, and especially in this tournament where Vela is not going to be present. So it's a big time opportunity for the Uruguayan to come out and show up with his colleague Rossi and put the team on their shoulders, especially on the offensive side. Like we mentioned, Vela's not going to be there. You lose about 30 goals per season. But I think, yeah, if it's a team that can recover from this, it's LAFC.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously, I just want to put up their schedule one more time. So 1 week from today, they're going to be playing Houston Animal. That starts at 5 p.m. Pacific time, obviously July 18th. It's LA Galaxy, and then obviously July 23rd they got Portland Timbers. So on other news that broke earlier or last week, Jona dos Santos also will not be joining the LA Galaxy. Uh, so I was able to ask General Manager Dennis DeClose, and this is what he said on Jona dos Santos. Let me just read the quote. Let me pull it up here. He said he slipped, referring to Jona dos Santos, and he overstretched a part in his groin where we've tried to solve with proper medical care over the last 3 weeks. It wasn't effective anymore, so they decided he's going to have this minor surgery, and it's going to put him out for 4 to 6 weeks, which is tough. I mean, I feel like Jona dos Santos. I feel like almost every year that he's been there, he's always been injured. It's unfortunate, but I do understand it because when you're gone for so long, which were they or these players were for 3 months, and then you come back right away and you try to exert yourself or try to go faster than take your time, or like he slipped right and he pulled something. It's unfortunate, but that happens, and I feel like you'll see more injuries like that throughout this tournament, which I don't want to, but when they haven't played for that long, you got about a week or two to get ready for game time. A lot of people are going to be pulling things.
Yeah, definitely, it's a big blow for Galaxy because they got Chicharito on board too for this tournament. So yeah, to have a player like Jonathan Dos Santos, who's a great midfielder, recovers, sets plays for LA Galaxy, to be out like that, for 6 weeks, it's tough, and it kind of takes away from that spectacle that you want to see for the Mexican fans, like the Mexicans internationals who have been. Well, Chicharito has to prove himself in this tournament. He didn't have a great start, but I think Jonathan is one of the fan favorites so far. In this, that time he has been for playing for Galaxy. But yeah, as you mentioned, a tough blow for the Galaxians. But I think they have a great depth on the squad. Although they did lose Katai, unfortunately, on for after those racial comments from his wife. So another midfielder goes down. So it's going to be interesting to see how LA Galaxy fills those roles for this tournament.
Yeah, and I just want to quickly mention this. Obviously, their midfield. They got obviously Efrain Alvarez. He's a youngster. Joe Corona, Emil Coelho, Carlos Harvey, Perry Kitchen, Sasha, then Sebastian Leggett, Jonathan Paris. Also, some of the names that and they also called up a lot of players from the Galaxy too. To come up and play with them. So it's going to be interesting to see. Typically, the midfielders, that's where you want to be the strongest. And Jona dos Santos, when he is healthy, he is arguably not the best midfielder in the MLS. He's one of the best, and he controls the pace of the game. But you did mention another thing, Chicharito. He will be there. He's going to be playing. A big thing for him, he hasn't scored, and obviously they played 2 or 3 games this season. And I think for him, this kind of with Vela not playing is going to put the spotlight on him.
Definitely.
He's going to be. So whenever they do match up or they don't match up, or, whenever they play against each other, LAFC versus LA Galaxy, the lights and everything's going to be on him. And I expect him, he's going to be going to this tournament. And for him, I expect him to have a great tournament, get his first goal in. He's not going to have the pressure of the fans being there, of everything, You may have some outside social media noise, but, you're going to be able to lock in, be in there, and be focused. And I think this is going to be a great opportunity for Chicharito to show his talent, his skills, regardless if he's a tap-in player or whatever you want to refer to him. No matter how he scores, as long as he scores for Galaxy fans are going to be happy. And I think in this tournament, if it goes on, because, we just had FC Dallas drop, but if this tournament goes on and it happens, I expect Chicharito to have a great tournament.
Yeah, well, this tournament is supposed to start tomorrow or
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
2 days.
Yeah, so so it's wouldn't be surprised if other teams drop out, but yeah, so far FC Dallas has been the only one due to the cases that they have been added. Yeah, but it's something that's gonna take a reflection on the league, see So you pretty much what are you gonna do if Dallas is out of Group D? Would you be adding other teams from Group A into that? How is it gonna work? You know, it's a tough situation. You have a couple of days for the league to figure out how's it gonna play out because yeah, you lose one asset, one team, and yeah, pretty much you have to be really careful. And I think I mean the cases in Florida don't stop, and maybe they should have picked another probably setting far away from Florida because as we know, it's not looking good down there as well either.
Yeah, obviously. So, well, I'm gonna pull this screen back up here. So, Group D was Dallas. It was Seattle, Dallas, Vancouver, San Jose. I'm assuming now that Dallas is no longer on there, you're definitely gonna have to pull someone from Group A, which had what it has 6 teams, and they're gonna go from six to five, and you could pull that team to Group D. And I think the reason why obviously they picked Orlando was Florida. I think Florida, Texas, and Arizona, the first teams that were open to having pro sports back. And in the state of Florida, the governor made pro sports an essential business. So that's the reason why the NBA and MLS went there. But no one knew that the number of cases was going to get to this point, by this time in July, which is unfortunate. And what's so interesting, a lot of the players are coming in inside the bubble and they're getting tested positive while they're in the bubble. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the tricky thing because you're supposed to be in the bubble, but you're supposed to be protected.
Right.
And there's a lot of things on social media coming out, like on Twitter. Some players are not happy. I don't know if you saw some of the pictures of the sandwiches and the box lunches, and
Right.
some of the hotels. So I do feel like there's a lot of pressure on the MLS. But if you have all these teams there, I think you have to at least give it a try. I'm not knocking that player safety is not important or anything like that. But if you're there and you limit the amount of tests or whatever, obviously FC Dallas is not there. They had 10 players. I understand why they pulled them out because 10 players is a lot. That's a whole starting lineup right there, except the keeper. That's I get that, but I want to know like how many teams until you decide to cancel it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that's going to be the interesting thing. Because we know once LAFC get there and LA Galaxy get there later tonight, I'm assuming they're going to get tested. Right now, things don't look very positive for the league. You have two big players not going. One team drops out, and you're supposed to start in 2 days. But if for whatever reason they're able to get it going and it runs smooth from there, great. But if not, that's going to be unfortunate. I think the most unfortunate part is that you're there and you don't get to play.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, you pretty much already have everything set up, all the teams out there ready to go. And if another team gets to drop out, I think that evens out pretty much the groups. As you see right there, you'll have pretty much 4 teams per group. But it's tough, man. It's tough to say because, yeah, you really do care for the player safety because, I mean, they have families. They don't want to be away from them. It's a tough time. They did get pressure to accept the deal from the league as well. They got pretty much pressure. We saw that the soap opera, how it went out. But yeah, now we got to this point and it's only 2 days away. We'll see how that plays out because, yeah, teams are really looking forward to play. But, yeah, you have to take a lot of good measures in order for players and staff to come out with a positive attitude and as well as negative on the results.
Yeah, no, and you hit it right there. That obviously the first game is Orlando versus Miami. They're supposed to be that's going to be the opener game. I'm excited, but at the same time nervous because I feel like what else is going to come out of this? Because
Right.
I think like everybody's like looking forward to this, and you see like LAFC, LA Galaxy, and I was just on a Zoom call with Bob Bradley, and one thing that I kind of found interesting that he said like, he's like, I'm a little bit, I don't want to misquote him, but it was along the lines that he found that this tournament was one of the only solutions to get back going, because I'm assuming that he assumed that there was other options, whether they could play in the market or maybe he just feels that way because obviously Carlos Vela is not able to go. Um, but yeah, we'll have to see. And then people asked him like also about like how he felt about the cases and everything being there and potentially them coming back and playing in home market. He says he's pretty optimistic and hopeful that that will potentially happen. But obviously, with the rising cases, he doesn't know. You know, which I would love to see them come back in the market and play in the market. But I guess we take it one step at a time. This starts in 2 days. Um, we're gonna see. I know what happens tomorrow. Hopefully, no more teams drop out. And if you said if one more does, it
Still
even
early.
yeah, it's still early. So a lot of things can happen from now to Wednesday. But I just hope everybody gets there safe. LAFC, LA Galaxy, they get there safe. They got games going on a week from today, so both LA teams will be playing a week from today.
Yeah, definitely. It's a major setback. This type of players not going, and as well as it's the first team to pretty much drop out of this tournament. But yeah, like you said, anything could happen in the next 24 hours, even 48 hours. So yeah, it's so close, but yet so far for the MLS to have everything set up, and hopefully it works out for the best. But hopefully the players stay safe in the bubble, and I don't know, man. It's kind of too late to change the venue. It's already
Mhm.
all set and stuff. So we'll see how that plays out too, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. We're 2 days away. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap things up. So I just want to put up the schedule one more time. These other groups, we're gonna have to scratch out FC Dallas right there, no longer there. Uh, there's a schedule for LA Galaxy and LAFC with Novella. I found the whole thing kind of interesting. LAFC is typical; they really try to keep information to the last minute,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, we'll have to see Novella, no Jona dos Santos for this tournament, and we'll see how this turns out. But yeah, let the people know where they can follow you, bro.
Yeah, of course. You guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Gustavo A_Ortega. We'll be answering questions, retweeting news, posting out what happens in the next couple of hours with MLS. Hopefully, no more bad news, but it's all there, it's all set up to. Hopefully, it's a good tournament and it plays out well for the good of the fans.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm hoping this tournament kicks off. We're less than 2 days away. But yeah, guys, thanks for listening. Obviously, you guys can follow me at Gio Garcia LA on Twitter. Just tweeting things out that come out. Obviously, try to keep you guys on top of both LA teams, and then we'll keep this weekly live stream going. We'll shoot for sometime later this week, either Wednesday. We'll do like a Wednesday or Friday, and just to see how that the MLS is back tournament kicked off. But that's gonna wrap things up, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next time. Peace.